This month, 7 years ago, this month, 7 years ago, gosh, I can't believe it's been that long since I stood in front of the mirror looking at my body at 46 and deciding I'm really sick and tired of being sick and tired. I got serious and I took that picture in all of my glory. Hey girl, welcome back to another episode of Rock That Fitness with Anna Rockstar. It's going to be just me and you today. I don't have a guest. You are my guest. And today I want to talk about habit formation, consistency, the struggles that we have as women, trying to juggle having a healthy, fit lifestyle with all of our responsibilities and all of our baggage and thoughts and things that we carry with us all of these years. So if you're a woman over 40, I think you know what I'm talking about. And this girl, I'm 54 now. So I think we get it. So let's go ahead and let's get into this. I'm going to be completely and totally transparent, like I never am, right? I am, but I honestly, it's taking me like all day to record this episode because I don't know what it is. Do you get like this where it's like, I can't seem to get my thoughts together today? Yeah. So I'm just coming in here to talk with you with my thoughts kind of scattered, but I do have some notes because I've got so much on my heart that I want to share because I understand what it feels like to be kicking off my fitness resolution or the new year with all of my goals. And then, we're like basically 2 weeks in and it's like, it's getting hard, right? I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's not hard for you. I just know for myself, from my past self, the struggles that I dealt with. And so if that's you and you've been struggling with just trying to establish some new healthy, fit habits and really trying to get your fit lifestyle up and off the ground so you're flying and soaring instead of tripping and stumbling over everything and constantly starting over. If that's you, I just want you to know that you're not alone. There's nothing wrong with you, but there's some steps that you can take so that you don't have to be living like that anymore and you can make progress. And I'm just here to tell you that there is hope. And I want to share with you my hope. I want to share some insights from my past and what has helped me and also what has helped many of my clients from Rock That Fitness and many of the people that I know in my circles. What is the difference between somebody living a healthy, fit lifestyle and somebody who is dabbling and just kind of trying it out? And let's be for real, that I don't know. Maybe that's you. Maybe not. I don't know that I necessarily would say that I was like dabbling. I think I just always really wanted it, but I also felt like there was always things in the way. And so let's just talk about these things together today. Here's what I want to talk about. First of all, well, I'm going to talk about it's got to be simple. Like if it's complicated, it just doesn't work for our mind, for our brain. It's got to be simple. And it's got to be something that we can take on and we can do and it feels doable and it's not it's not like willpower powering us through it and we're like going through, right? White knuckling it all the time with willpower. It's got to be simple. I mean, because that doesn't work. And if you're like me, a lot of years have gone by and you know that this isn't the way to go. You already know that, right? So I want to start by saying, let me give you a little peek. If you don't know, I'm going to give you a little peek into my life. What does it look like? What does it look like today? Because I know that for someone that I just start talking to, like say I just go to a networking event and I'm talking to a woman, what if I just told her the way that I live my life right now? Like how the things that I do throughout my day and what I do day to day, I'm thinking most women are going to be like rolling their eyes, walking away like you're out of your mind. And so I do feel in a sense that that feeling now that I believe that I'm living my healthiest fit life and lifestyle, because having a healthy fit life comes with establishing habits. And so that's what I'm talking about. The day in and day out, what I do. I'm going to share that with you and tell me at the end of these things, and it's not going to be everything, but tell me at the end of this, like what I'm going to tell you, this list of things that I do, does it seem overwhelming and like you're out of your mind and you're crazy? Because I think this is just something that over time has developed. And now it's just so normal and natural for me that I don't think it's crazy. I don't think it's over restrictive. I don't believe that in my heart because I've established this healthy, fit way of living my life. It's not like hard. I've just established habits that become second nature, I guess. Now, country boy, on the other hand, will tell me I eat restricted. But of course, compared to most people, compared to most women, that's the reason that I have what I have. I have maintenance. And I don't believe I don't feel restricted. Can you understand that? Like it might look like to the outsider who's on the beginning stages of their health and fitness, right? To see how I live my life might seem like, oh my gosh, that's extreme. Well, I mean, it's not any different than somebody who is starting out as a walker and wants to become a marathon runner, right? Like that's night and day. Somebody who's walking and they're just starting out, they're like, one day I want to run and I want to run a marathon. Walking, like seeing somebody doing a marathon, it's like, wow, all that it takes to do something like that, the training that goes into it, understanding how to do your nutrition for that, how to manage your day and your schedule for that, how to manage everything in your life for that, right? So for me, in my healthy fit life, I know for me, this is normal. But, if I'm taking a way step back years ago and I saw somebody that was from my perspective, was a healthy fit chick, that's what I wanted. I wanted that. But when I saw that person, I would think things like, must be easy, or she's always been that way, or she had different upbringing. I would always come up with all of these reasons why that person was the way she was, her metabolism, these things, right? And it comes easy for her, whatever stories we make up. And I'm sure people can make up stories about that, about me. But girl, I just want to share with you, like down to earth between me and you. There's not much difference. There's really nothing different between me and you if you don't live a full-on healthy, fit, structured lifestyle. And you're trying and you're working on it, but you're frustrated. The only difference is that I have picked up the tools and slowly, little by little, I have built one habit at a time that has created consistency in each of these habits. And that is really what we keep on hearing all the time. It's just about consistency. That's all it is. So here's a little peek into my life that, of course, this is who I am today. It's not who I was 7 years ago. It's not who I was 10 years ago. It's not even probably who I was 3 years ago, because we're always evolving. We're always changing. But here is just like a glimpse into my life today. All right, let's talk about this. These are just a few of the things, and I'm sure there's lots, but I prioritize strength training in my fitness. So let's talk about fitness. In my life, fitness for me it's structured. I have days that I do my strength training, structured strength training, and I have days that I do my cardio. And then all of the days I'm basically active, unless I'm in the middle of some really busy work having to do with a special project, then I still do my best to maintain that. But that's a big deal. I prioritize my fitness. It's not my life. See, that's the other thing people think, like that's my life. That's all it's not. And it might look like that, but it's not. I've got a lot of other things in my life. So, but I do prioritize my fitness. Whereas in the past, obviously it wasn't a priority. I would do it, I would work out, but not as a priority. Okay, what else? Food and drinks. Today, I prioritize feeding my body healthy foods. And if you want to get down to the nitty gritty, I prioritize making sure that I get optimal amounts of protein. I'm laughing because I just had a flashback about a video I was trying to create and I couldn't stop saying optimal instead. Or what was I saying? See, I can't even say it right now, but I prioritize getting optimal amounts of protein and vegetables and fruits, getting plenty of fiber in my diet and plenty of water. I'm drinking basically at least a gallon of water a day easily. And I prioritize eating healthy. And it's not a chore. Of course, I do enjoy my fun foods. I do have candy sometimes. Sometimes I go out to eat and I do eat some fried food or things that I don't normally eat like pizza or whatever. But I do prioritize my nutrition. I even measure my food. When I say measure it, like I have a food scale in my kitchen and I measure everything because I'm just checking the portion control. It's not restrictive. I just do it as a habit. And that has kept me maintaining my physique for years. That's a simple little habit that I've done. And I don't have to track my food, but there's quite a few times that I do go through stints of tracking my food for awareness. I do that for myself because I know that sometimes I'll go for a long period of time and I won't track, and I'm not going to gain back 60 pounds of fat, girl. I'm not, because of my habits that are in place. But I will be somewhat in a surplus a little bit over time. And so then I'll start noticing I'm getting a little fluffier because let's face it, I'm human. I can't calculate all of this stuff all day, every day, week after week. And I do like to maintain a certain physique. That's not for everybody. I'm not competitive bikini stage ready to cross a stage, nothing like that. But I do enjoy having definition with my physique. I like to be able to have not, extreme visible abs, but nice visible abs. I like that. So I know when I'm getting fluffy, I'm going to ring it in and I'm going to track my calories. That's not restrictive to me. In fact, I don't even restrict myself severely. I just put myself in a healthy calorie deficit, track it consistently, and get back into the groove. Because, when you're just kind of like putting your food together randomly or whatever, and you're not tracking, it's not unusual that you're just having a little more than usual and not on purpose. So reeling it in from time to time, I do that. Rest and recovery. So I do prioritize rest. I make sure that I'm not bringing so much intensity to my training all of the time that I'm always sore. And whenever I do feel a sense of soreness because I have a new routine or a new program I'll make sure that I'm getting plenty of rest. I'll give myself extra rest or I won't come back too hard on my next training day. That's not how I used to do it. Girl, the way I used to do it was like if I wasn't sore, it wasn't a good workout. Now, scientifically, that's the facts. So I know now that I don't have to go hitting it hard every single time at the gym and being sore every day. That's not helpful. That's not helpful to building muscle. I know these things now. So that's what I do, right? And I make sure to get optimal sleep. Woo! Let's talk about optimal sleep. Now, I definitely used to neglect that. I was very deficient in sleep. And I would go and go and go and go, and I would sleep very little. I would go to bed late. I would get up early. And I even would pride myself on being able to get through everything and do everything on such little sleep. I was like, I could do this. But didn't realize how important it was. And now I do. So I prioritize my sleep. I make sure I get to bed at a reasonable hour, which is right around 8:30, 9 o'clock. And I get up every morning at the same time. So I have a sleep-wake cycle that is like a schedule every day, even on the weekends, unless I have a show. I prioritize my sleep and I prioritize my rest. I know how important that is for regulating my nervous system. And rest and recovery is important for repairing muscles and rejuvenating the cells, all the tissues of the body. So much to do with having to do with getting that optimal sleep. Um, what else? Oh, and not to mention, we don't get enough sleep. We don't get optimal sleep, right? Then we don't have coping mechanisms. Like our coping mechanisms out the door. Like everything's going to get us upset. Everybody being around is going to cause us to feel irritable. And we know what feeling irritable feels like. It's like you're feeling this agitation and it's like nobody's doing anything wrong, but you feel irritated. Well, that's probably because maybe we didn't get enough sleep. I'm only laughing because, are you laughing with me? I'm only laughing because, like, that's the reality. And I experience that sometimes, like, I haven't been getting enough sleep. I'm just like extra irritated, agitated. And what else? Another thing I do is I have a mindful practice. I get up each morning and I have a routine where I do spend time in some meditation. And it's a mindful practice. It's about paying attention to what I'm paying attention to, and I'm focusing. So it's a mindful practice. I didn't used to have that. I used to be go, 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 go every minute, every moment of my day, jam packed. And what I tell my clients and what I tell people today is that it's important to have some margin in your day. You know what I mean by margin, right? Like this is a sheet of paper if you're watching me on YouTube, right? We've got the lines. Let's have some space when we write out our day, what we're doing. Like leave some space, right? Double space your day. Leave some room in the margins, right? Why? Because if we fill up every line and every margin and header and footer of our day, we have no time for rest and recovery of our mind and our peace of mind. And also having that space allows for us to be flexible. So if something comes up, we're not going to get stressed because we can rearrange. See, that's a practice in my day that I didn't used to do years ago. So these are some simple things like I know I have a regimen with my food. I have a regimen with my fitness. I have a regimen with my rest. Oh, I didn't even bring this up. Like who I surround myself with, what people are in my life, what are the people that I'm networking with? That's completely different than it used to be. I used to not surround myself with people that that caused me to feel great about myself, that pushed me to be better, that inspired me, that they were on my side. Like nowadays, like I make sure to surround myself with the people that help me become a better person. I didn't do that before. In fact, I was around a lot of people that really didn't, number one, care about themselves, much less me. So they didn't care about me having goals or taking care of myself. So that wasn't a healthy practice or habit. Now I'm in the habit. So those are just some things, that matter when it comes to establishing a healthy, fit lifestyle. And all of those things we could expand on and talk about for hours and break it all down. But I just wanted you to have some insight because I think people see and go, wow, that's a lot. And it is. But I want to encourage you that you can create and develop a healthy, fit lifestyle for yourself in the way that works for you. But some of the things that I think that women do when they kick off their fitness journey, I want to talk about 5 mistakes that I have here written down that we can discuss. And if this is a mistake that you're making, then I want to encourage you, first of all, to not beat yourself up, but understand that we cannot take on a whole bunch of habits all at once because the mind can only handle so many. It's like a computer. It really is. And we cannot establish 10 habits, 5 habits at one time. This was one of the biggest things that I did when I was starting out. I realized finally, after all of the failed attempts, and by the way, we don't learn and grow through success, right? We actually learn and grow through our failures. Well, many times that I attempted to dial in my nutrition, to get my workouts in, to make sure I get plenty of sleep, to cut out all these things and do this, right? It was like I was going hard, but it wasn't sustainable because I didn't realize what I was doing was creating burnout. And it was not enjoyable. It was white knuckling it. And motivation only lasts for so long. Willpower only lasts for so long. You know what I'm talking about. But even today, as we're at wherever you're at on your fitness journey, we always have room for growth. I still am working on my fitness journey. I haven't arrived. Let me give you a perfect example. Right now, I'm in the middle of our Rock That Fitness registration. So whenever we have a launch, a registration period, there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes. I'm having to, I shouldn't say having to, I get to I get to send out emails that help women decide yes or no they're ready, giving them insight on things. So I'm sending emails out on a regular basis, more than usual, because I want to help more women. And I know I can give them the best help by getting them into Rock That Fitness. And so I become super extra consumed with that. So I'm spending more time on email. I'm spending more time trying to get the word out. There's a lot going on. There's the web page kind of stuff going on. There's the onboarding that has to happen. And I want to make sure that the information is getting out there. There's so much happening that I want to make sure that when we do, when we sign on a new member of Rock That Fitness or whatever we're doing, that they get the information they need and that their system that the system flows for them and that they walk in and they get onboarded properly and they're not confused and they get everything they need and they're ready. Like so much is happening. Okay. So right now I'm in the middle of a Rock That Fitness registration. Not only that, we haven't opened up the doors to Rock That Fitness since 2023. And so I'm actually doing a lot of new things. I have a new offer. So that's creating a lot of new things like automations that are different. Onboarding is different. So many things are new this time. So I'm having to work through some glitches. All right. What is my point? Anna, what's your point? My point is what I've discovered about myself, because this is an ongoing growth and discovery, right? Is that it seems to me anytime I'm going through a launch, my fitness routine, although I do my best to continue showing up consistently, it still is not optimal during that time. So I'll end up going to my training. I'll still show up, but I found myself abbreviating my training sessions during launches. And this hit me really hard, as a matter of fact, yesterday, because I said to myself in the morning, I'm going to go get my training in first thing in the morning. That way I don't get my mind all distracted with all of my work that I need to do. Well, guess what I did? I ended up in my usual habit of but I ended up coming into my office, checking my email early in the morning, doing these things. And one thing led to another. Oh, and then I need to do this. And then, I forgot about that. Oh my gosh, that needs my attention. And then before I know it, it's already afternoon and now I'm hungry. I haven't been to the gym. I'm sharing this full disclosure, girl. Like, I have nothing to hide here. My goal, my mission is to help more women with their health and fitness. Yet I am still struggling sometimes. I hate that word, but it was a challenge. I noticed this. So yesterday I'm like, you know what? I'm getting to the gym. Okay. I've already found a place of stopping point in my work, get to the gym. And I'm in the middle of my training session and I'm realizing, wow, I didn't give myself enough time because, well, I'm supposed to go to a networking event with Country Boy. And if it wasn't for that, well, I'd have plenty of time. But Anna, you didn't manage your time very well today. My conversation with myself. You didn't manage your time today very well. Well, what would you do? Well, what would I tell my client? Let's learn from this. Well, what do I need to learn from this? Like, girl, like this is my self-coaching here. I'm learning that when I do a launch and I'm going through registration period or doing new projects, my brain, my mind gets so consumed with it that the energy ends up flowing there rather than focusing my attention on maintaining my own regimen, my own routine. So my routine suffers. Well, so what do I got to do? Put myself on the hook with you right now. Um, I need to do like with this when I realize that this is sucking me away from my normal rock star routine and I want to get back on track with that. I mean, I'll tell you right now, for every launch that I've done or for anything that's taken me away from my rockstar routine, it doesn't take me away from my long-term healthy fit lifestyle. I don't go so off course that I'm back at square one. That doesn't happen. But I'll tell you this, I'm not happy about it because I want to continue to improve and I don't want my work to get in the way of my priority of taking care of myself first. That's what I coach, right? So, cheers. I'm gonna have a sip. Hold on. At least I muted that for a second. So, I guess I need to, when I'm going through a launch, I think next time, I said, next time, Anna, next time you do a launch, next time you go through a registration period, you need to just get to the gym first because all that work's going to be there when you get there. And I know it's like going back in time when I worked in the hospital, when I worked full time at the hospital, away from home, whatever, the kids were little. And I knew that if I didn't get my training in first thing in the day, then other things in the day were going to interfere. It's the same thing. It's the same principle. I know better. Nothing gets in the way when I show up and go do it first. Of course, I have other voices in my head. Yeah, but you know you like that cuddle time with Country Boy in the morning. Yeah, but you know you like having that. And every morning I sit in his lap with coffee and we talk about what's going to happen in the day. I know I do, but I can rearrange that. In fact, I already talked to him this morning. I said, do you think we can rearrange lap time? Anyway, that kind of sounds bad, like I'm giving him a lap dance or something. Oh my gosh. All right. What's my point? My point is, we're constantly evolving and learning in our fitness journey. So we learn from it. And I'm still learning from it. So it's a mistake that we make when we go all in too fast, too hard. Okay. That's the first one. And I did that back in the day. I would do that. I would do training. I would get my workouts in. I would do my nutrition, but I didn't establish a habit. So, if that's you, I just want to encourage you to just take a step back and look at all of the things and see why. Don't beat yourself up because you didn't do anything wrong. You just haven't become aware. And, awareness is the first step to change. So, what else? Fad diets or any stupid diet, right? Chasing that, yeah, doing these fad diets. That was something also that a lot of women are struggling with because, of course, it's the beginning of the year and they've been bombarded with all the diets out there. And, well, I just want to try it, right? I just want to try it. I want to get, and then they keep on doing these things. And I've seen this over and over. I talk to women saying, I'm so afraid to try one more thing because I have poured out so much money. But that's because they're pouring money into a bunch of quick fixes that don't last. They just lead to yo-yo dieting and frustration. And you and I both know, we know, right? Like, but we're always hoping that there is something that's quick. Even the medications out there, there's going to be a problem, So I don't do that. I'm not doing that anymore. That's a big mistake, right? I know now the scientific approach, the proven effective method to fat loss. So that's another one. Number 3, underestimating recovery and sleep. Well, we just talked about this. So women, this is number 3. One of the biggest mistakes women are making is they're not resting. They're not getting recovery. They're skipping their rest days. They think they have to work out 7 days a week. And that's the furthest thing from the truth. It's actually doing more harm than good. You don't need to be training and strength training and working out 7 days a week. So they'll skip their rest days because they think if a rest day is going to interfere, but in fact, it's going to help you. You need to. If that's you, you need to make sure, we all need to make sure that we are building in to our programming, to our routine, a rest day. And when I say rest day, I'm not saying like laying on the couch all day doing nothing. Okay, come on. We talked about this, but rest day really just means you're resting from pushing your body hard inside of some kind of intense workout. Okay. And rest, active rest. Do an active rest day. You're still moving around, you're still active, you're still doing things, even going for walks, whatever, but you're not doing like a scheduled workout. It's your rest day. That's also giving your mind a chance to rest, which is very, very important. Number 4, oh my goodness. Do we even need to go here? You and I both know. The other one is relying on the scale. However, I know that many women over the age of 40, they're still stuck on obsessing over the scale. So that's a big one that's going to keep on frustrating them, right? Because using weight as the only measure of progress will keep on keeping you stuck. So why? Because non-scale victories give a fuller picture of success, and we already talk about this all of the time. So if you listen on a regular basis, you know. And I think I talked about this even last time on my episode. But we want to measure everything, all of the measures, right? We want to take progress. By the way, if you haven't taken your progress pictures and you started a new fitness journey and fat loss journey, I just want to say, you please do that for yourself. Take the progress pictures, okay? You're going to want to see the progress. If you don't take progress pictures, measurements, these are the things: progress pictures and measurements, and paying attention to how your clothes feel. That's a measurement that goes beyond the scale, okay? And you're going to enjoy those successes way more than the scale. So, number 5, ignoring mindset and habits. Well, we just talked about that, right? We need to establish a habit, and focusing only on workouts. What happens is that we just focus on all these things, but you're going to get frustrated because you're not establishing a habit. And so, you don't have long-term consistency, because then a lot of women, when they aren't being consistent, or they miss a workout, or they blew it on their quote unquote diet, then they just say forget about it, which is that all or nothing thinking, that all or nothing mindset that keeps us trapped in that same place over and over. It's another one. Again, and the whole reason why we want to establish habits. In just a few minutes, I'm going to talk about establishing a habit. Okay, so did I already say 5? All right. Well, here's your bonus on this one, the mistake. This is a big one. This one, I think, is one of the biggest mistakes. So let's highlight this, put a big spotlight on this one, and let's start understanding it even more. Okay. And that is neglecting energy balance. And what does that mean when I say energy? Because I know that most people think, when they think energy, they think like physical energy, like my body's tired, I've been going physically. But actually, energy balance encompasses all energy: emotional energy, mental energy, physical energy, and everything is impacting our energy. And we have only so much energy, right, in a day. Excuse me, I had to have a sip. And I think what happens is we don't realize that energy is depleting throughout the day. So you have like a tank of energy, and it all impacts the whole. Like, if you expend physical energy, it's going to impact your mental and emotional energy. If you expend emotional and mental energy, that's also going to impact your physical energy. It all does impact it all matters. Energy matters. And so I say this because what happens is we end up adding things, right? You're starting off your fitness journey, and you add in the workouts, you're adding in meal prep, you're adding in whatever it is. You're adding in you're like, I'm going to start meditating in the morning. These things you're adding in, but you didn't subtract anything. And so now you're trying to, like fit 10 pounds into a 5-pound bag, Who can relate? Because that's what Country Boy tells me that I do. And I do. This is something that I have continued to work on in my own life. always trying to fit that 10 pounds in that 5-pound bag because, by golly, I think I can fit that 10 pounds in that bag for some reason. When will I learn? Some days are better than others, okay? I'll give myself that. But when we don't learn how to manage our energy, balance our energy, you know what happens. Again, I just said this, it's going to lead to burnout and it leads to unsustainable routines. You're not going to have sustainability and long-term results if we don't manage our energy. And here's the part that I also want to this part leads to I know a lot of us in this at this age, right? We're juggling, our kids. We're probably juggling aging parents, and some of us are caregivers to a special needs child or a parent. And caregiving it can be very exhausting. And I want to bring this up because I know it from our membership. We've got many women inside of Rock That Fitness. And ladies, if this is you, I just want to encourage you. I want to encourage you in the fact that number one, um, what you're going through, of course, it's life, but my heart goes out because it's not an easy thing. You have so much energy. And so now you have the added challenge to balance your energy while still caregiving someone else. So what I want to say about that is that we have to be in this area, we need to be realistic about it so that we don't get frustrated and burn out. There's only so much energy you have. So who in the world told you? It's expected, right? You are expected to do all of this in your health and your fitness. And on top of that, you're expected to do all of this for this other person that you're caring for, right? You're expected to do all of that. Give yourself a break. We only have so much energy. So the best thing we can do is to manage our expectations. And you have to do this for yourself. You have to start becoming more aware of your energy balance and what you need to do to maintain your energy balance, right? Because if you give 98%, 95% of all of your energy, mental, emotional, physical energy to caregiving, how much do you have for yourself? And I don't know how you're going to work that out. But the number one thing I want you to know is that the part that we have to work out is being kind and compassionate to ourselves because we only have a limited amount of energy. Like I said, nobody said that you're supposed to do it all. But that one step is the best thing we can do is just to become aware of like, oh yeah, I don't have all of it. No wonder I'm so exhausted and I can't do everything. So where are some areas in your life where you can cut back on what you're doing so you can devote more prioritization to your health or your sleep or your nutrition and preparing your food? Where are some areas in your life that you're going to have to say no to so you can say yes to taking care of yourself? And this will be a habit you may need to establish. So this is just an example. And I'm just saying this so we can become aware because I'm not speaking like to you. I'm saying we need to do these things. We need to find where we can say no to something, subtract something. So maybe it's you're scrolling on social media, you're spending too much time on there. Maybe you need to set a timer. Like I'm going to give myself 5 minutes or 10 minutes of, whatever you want to do, scrolling on TikTok or, watching one of your favorite TV shows. I'm going to give myself this much time. It's okay. There isn't anything wrong with wanting to numb out for 5 or 10 minutes. Like, come on, we all need that, like separate. But I think we need to manage our time and we have to be smart about it. And again, like if you're scrolling for hours, see, it's not because you don't have the time, it's because we're not managing the time well. I mean, I'm just as guilty as the next person. Like yesterday, I didn't manage my time very well. I spent most of my day working, yes, on the things and the projects, but I know that I probably spent more time fretting about it than actually doing some things about it. That's the kind of stuff. So the whole point here is that I know that some of us have extra responsibilities with family or caregiving. So Find ways where you can manage your schedule in such a way that you're still taking care of yourself. You need to make yourself a priority still, and everybody needs to respect that. There's people in your life that can help you. Find ways. We don't have to take on the whole world. So, but girl, I just want you to know that you're not alone. Like, you're surrounded with other women that are dealing with the same thing. So don't feel like you're the only one. And I know, because I see many rock stars and Rock That Fitness that are still rocking their fitness in spite of the things that they're doing, the challenges that they have, the extra caregiving they have to do. But they're managing because they're making wise choices with how they're managing their time. So I just think that we can make it happen. It's just a matter of how. You got to know what your why is and what you're doing, why you're doing it. Because I'll tell you right now, every time we decide why it's important to us, we make it happen. We will find the how. The how will reveal itself when we aren't hard on ourselves and we realize we have to be wise and do the right thing. Because in the end, when we do what's best for us, it all works out. It all works out. So here I am. Whoops. I just lost my microphone. Okay. You're going to have to bear with me. I just did that. I just knocked my headphone. Oh gosh. Chrissy, if you want to cut that out, go ahead. It doesn't matter to me, whatever. This is just one of those days. My mind is everywhere. It's okay. I'm not even going to apologize for it. Did I apologize already? Sorry, not sorry. I want to just, I guess, recap what's going on here. What's going on here is that building your healthy, fit life requires building habits. And this is the part that we need to talk about, that people don't want to talk about building habits. They just want to talk about doing all these things. And they get frustrated because they're not able to stay consistent. And girl, the reason we're not able to stay consistent is because we haven't established a habit. And in order to establish a habit, we have to keep on showing up and practicing and repeating. Somebody who is, a star athlete, you can think of any celebrity, they have to train. They didn't just suddenly show up one day to the team and they became VIP. It doesn't work that way. They still had to keep showing up and training. They may even have a natural talent, but they still have to show up and train, right? Just like anything. So if you are just starting your fitness journey, or you have something that you want to add into your life so that you are more well-rounded in your health and your fitness journey and establishing your healthy, fit lifestyle, give yourself some compassion and understand that it's just a matter of repeating it enough times until it sticks. And I'll just say this real quick, because I know a lot of women think, oh, it only takes 3 weeks to establish a habit. Well, it only takes 21 days. We've heard this for years, but the truth is, and studies, research has shown that it takes way more. Some people, it takes longer than other people. Some people, it could take many, many months. Some people, it can take just weeks. And it just depends on the habit, right? And well, the last time I took a look at research, they said that the average time it takes to actually build a habit is 66 days. I don't know. My point is, it's not a habit until it sticks. You know that a habit has stuck whenever you're not even thinking about it anymore. It's just something you do because it's just part of your life. You're suddenly doing it and you don't have to be struggling to show up for it. Your nutrition, your meal planning, your training, you have become the person that does that. And I just gave this example I heard recently from, I don't know, probably one of my mentors or something. And I really loved this. It's like when you start something new, a new healthy habit, it's like this. Like, imagine, this is the example that I just love this example. When you first learned to drive, I think most of us drive, right? This is the example I'm going to use because I think most of us are driving around in cars. And when you first learned how to drive, you got into the car, you were nervous, and you put your seatbelt on, you set your mirrors, you check all your mirrors, you make sure you can see, you got your seat adjusted just right, you're figuring out where you're gonna go. All these things are in place. Air conditioned, you know where all the knobs are now. You're like refreshing your mind, like, here's the blinker, here's my, my signals, all these things, right? And you're going and you're very mindful and nervous along the way. Where are you going? You're going. And then, you're paying attention to all of the things that you're doing while you're going from, let's just say you're going to the grocery store and you're a new driver. You're paying very close attention to everybody around you and the next turn you're going to make and that red light ahead and that stop sign there and what lane you're in, and you're mindful of what's going on inside of the car and you're sick, all these things, right? Hands in the right place on your steering wheel. Well, you got to the store, but you had to pay attention to all those steps. Today, you get in your car and you're at the store. You can stop and go, I don't remember passing, whatever landmark. I don't remember what was going on in that drive. I got from the house to the grocery store. I couldn't even tell you because it's second nature. That's how our mind works. When you have repeated something long enough, you don't have to think about it anymore. That mental energy can now go to the next habit. Okay, a little plug in here. I think I've mentioned this before. If you need some help, if you like to read books, I recommend Atomic Habits. It's a great book for habits. But the point that I want to make is that don't beat yourself up, but you do need to give yourself the opportunity to establish the habit. So whatever that one habit is, is going to help you progress and move forward. I'm not saying don't do any of the other things. Still show up. But I am saying I want to encourage you to focus on that one thing that hasn't become a habit that is going to move the needle. You're going to be making some real progress in your health and your fitness because this is one area that you're not consistent in and you're struggling in. So this is the point that I want to make. Focus on that one habit. Let's keep showing up to it, not perfectly, but consistently. Right? That means that most of the time you are showing up and you don't let another 1 day or 2 days go by, at the most 2 days. Like you get yourself there. So get yourself to the gym. How many times have I heard women say, oh, I got to get back to the gym. Don't get back. Just go back. Just go back and keep showing up. And when you miss a day, don't let another day, happen. And a lot of times we don't want to show up to the gym because we don't feel like it, or we don't think we're going to be able to bring the best workout or whatever. It doesn't matter. Establish the habit of just showing up. Before you know it, you're showing up without putting any thought or mental energy into it. So I know that a lot of this has been a lot of on repeat, but I think that we can take away that there's an area in your life that you're trying to put 10 pounds in a 5-pound bag. It's not working, or you're trying to do too much all at once, or you keep dropping the ball on some kind of habit that you really want to establish and you're beating yourself up. By the way, beating yourself up isn't helping. Don't do that. Let's not do that. Let's just recognize that you just need to build the habit. That's it. So if you see somebody who is living a healthy, fit life, it's because they have put in the reps. That's all it is. The only difference between somebody who's ahead of you on their fitness journey and where you are, it's how many reps they've put in. That's all. So don't compare your chapter 1 to somebody else's chapter 30. They have put in tens and thousands of hours. You've only put in a few. Okay. No shame, no guilt. We all have a day one. So keep going. So I'm not even going to recap everything. I'm just going to get on with my day. And I just want to invite you, if you haven't had a chance and you've never taken a moment to review this podcast, if it's helpful to you, please review it. I need to know that somebody's listening out there. I would love to see a review so that this is help. I want to know, is this helping you? Was there anything in this episode that was helpful to you? Send me a message on inside of Instagram or Facebook. Maybe screenshot the podcast and share it with me that you listened and what you got out of it. What was your takeaway? That's all I got for you today, girl. If nothing else, I just want you to remind you that when I say this, I really do mean it. When I say self-care, self-love all day, every day in all the ways, I really mean that. And I say it regularly, but really, self-care, what does that look like? What does that really mean? And you just deserve it. You are worthy, and it's not for somebody else. You're worthy because you are human and you need to take care of yourself. Give yourself what you need for self-care. Is it more margin? Is it we need to start our day with some 5 minutes of mindful practice and intention for the day? What do you need to do for your self-care that you haven't been doing that you deserve? You deserve it. Self-care. Do you need to make yourself a priority when it comes to making sure you have the food available to make sure you can just grab and go? That's self-care. The foods that are going to support your goals. Saying no. What do you need to say no to so you can say yes to taking care of yourself? Remember, when you say yes to yourself, it's really a gift to the world because you're showing up for yourself. And the byproduct of that is a beautiful showing up to the world of the best version of you. Don't forget that. So self-care, all those things. Self-love, because the most important relationship you're ever going to have in this life is the one you have with yourself. And if you don't learn how to love yourself, then you don't know how to love other people. I might be stepping on toes here, but this is the truth. We truly cannot show up and love others unless we have learned how to show up and love ourselves. And if you have difficulty with that and you're like, I just don't even know how to love myself, I would say, well, think about the things that you do to love others, actions you take for others. Start taking those actions to show yourself love. And watch how that grows. That action, okay, that act of love towards yourself begins to grow into an emotion of love for yourself, okay? Where your treasure is, that's where your heart is. Have you ever heard that? Yeah. Yeah, that's right, straight out of the Bible. There's some great things in there. But where your treasure is, so is your heart. It's the same thing. That's kind of like saying, oh, where your focus is, that's where your energy is, right? Where your focus goes, your energy flows. It's the same, right? Where our money goes, our attention goes, right? You go spend a bunch of money. Oh my gosh, I'm paying attention. Right? Right. Yeah, self-love. And part of that self-love, don't forget, if you love somebody, you can forgive them. If you love somebody, you can let them make a mistake. It's human. Self-love, self-compassion. So self-care, self-love. Those two big things, girl. Do that for yourself. Show up for yourself. Make this relationship with yourself number one, and everything else is going to fall in place. Self-love. All right? Look, self-care, self-love all day. Not perfectly, but in all the ways as best you can. All right. I love you, girl. Thanks for tuning in today. I appreciate you more than you know. Thank you so much for taking time to listen today. I really do hope that there was something in this episode that was helpful to you. So you keep on rocking your fitness. I love you. Rock on.